Are you coming in 8th because you keep losing 50 health before you even get your first round win? Are you tired of going level 4 for the first fight, only to lose to someone else who stayed level 3? Then this video is for you. Even though it's fairly late into set 3, in this video I'm going to teach you how to play the early game of Teamfight Tactics, so you can start earning gold off of your win streaks, and so you can keep your life for those later rounds. First of all, let's go ahead and define the early game for all you newer casual players that are looking to get into a higher rank. The early game starts at 2-1, where you take the first round to actually face your first opponent. However, you are going to want to start using the tactics in this video throughout the first 3 minion rounds as well, so that you can have a better chance to start win streaking as early as possible. The early game ends around stages 3-1 to 3-2, where most players will have 5 to 6 units on the board, depending on the galaxy the player is playing on, of course. Now that we have a clear understanding of when the early game ends, what are we supposed to do to start our best board during the early game, while still allowing us to win later rounds as well? Well, the first thing to look for during the early game isn't actually the champions you find in your shop, but the actual starting items that you want to be building. This is all going to depend on what items you grab during the initial carousel and what items are dropped during the minion rounds, but you want to be making as many items as possible with whatever you are given early. You should be looking to slam these items onto champions that are able to use them well, but will or can be sold later to put onto better champions. Items are the most powerful spikes in the game, so slamming items early gives you a much higher chance of winning those early rounds, while also still allowing you to flex them onto your actual carries later in the game. The next thing you're going to want to focus on is trying to 2-star as many champions as possible during these early rounds. That means you're going to want to be selling 3 cost and high cost units unless they're carries that you're going to be building around for the later game, like maybe Master Yi or a Shaco or a Jace at the current patch, or you manage to find an early Bard which will help you hit levels faster, letting you put in early extra units which give you a massive advantage against people that may not have that. The Bard will also help give you gold for the later rounds so that you can spend more time and money rolling instead of trying to level to get to the high levels for the later game. You don't want to focus on synergies at the current moment unless you're focusing on powerful early game synergies that will help you in the later game as well. Instead, you want to focus on 2-starring any champions you can find. Make sure to leave a comment below with your favorite early items to build. Personally, I like to look for Red Buff, Morello, Bramblevest, or Ionic in the current state of the game. Hands of Justice and Static Shiv are also quite nice during the live patch as well. And if you're enjoying the video, please consider leaving a like and consider subscribing for more TFT guides, gameplay, or whatever else you guys might like to see. If you guys are interested in seeing me play live to see actual examples of how to play the early game, consider checking me out on Twitch as well. I like to stream Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays at the moment, so I hope to see you guys there. Speaking of strong early game synergies, some ones that I personally like to go for are the Chrono buff to give yourself an extra attack speed, which helps you deal more damage than the enemy is during the early game, along with an Infiltrator buff to also help boost your attack speed, and Infiltrators allow you to jump into the back line to be able to destroy their 2-star carry, so that you can more easily take down the front line without losing many units and deal extra life to the other enemies. Vanguard and Brawler are also fairly strong at the current moment. Vanguard allows your front line to be super tanky. Brawler is a little weaker at the moment, but it's still good for the early game as it gives you a ton of extra health to work with. Some main synergies, if you happen to be running them, are cybernetics or rebels. If you can hit early, they're very, very strong and might actually be worth more than an extra 2-star unit on your board. There's one other caveat as well when you're looking to get as many 2-star units as possible. You want to make sure that you have some type of front line and some type of back line, whether it be a carry and a support, 2 damage dealers, or whatever you can find, right? You want to be focused on trying to have something that can sustain in the front line so that your damage can actually damage the enemy units before your front line gets rolled over and your carries become sitting ducks. If you have a Jarvan in the front and a 2-star Xayah in the back, it doesn't really matter how much damage your Xayah is outputting if your Jarvan gets run over and your Xayah insta-dies before you even get any of your damage off. So you need to focus on what you need so that you can win more rounds easily. And you want to make sure you have some type of front line and back line and understand that concept. It will help you a lot in the early game and in the late game once you get there. I believe in you guys. Keep it up.